We're going to start off with a grounding. What I want you to do is I want you to take your right hand. And as you take some nice deep breaths, put it to the left side of your face. And gently trace around your ear, down your neck, across your shoulder, the length of your arm, and out your fingertips. Left hand, over on the right side, around your ear, down your neck, across your shoulder, down the length of your arm, and out your fingertips. Do it again. You can do this probably 2-3 times and breathe as you're doing it. And what this actually does is it stimulates energy places in your body as well as meridians in your arm. But it actually, you can use this anytime when you feel a little over-analytic, when you're overthinking, when you're discombobulated, which well, probably fits me right now. So this is helpful for me too. And what it allows you to do is be in the present, right here, right now, to absorb and get whatever it is that you're supposed to get from the talk. All right? Now what I want you to do is I want you to make a mental list. 5 to 10 things that you love about your life. People, places, things, concepts. I'm just going to give you a little bit of time. You can close your eyes if you want to, if it helps you concentrate. 5 to 10 things that you love about your life. Okay. Everybody at least have 5, hopefully? Maybe 10? Okay. Rhetorical, because I don't want anybody to feel put on the spot. Did you put yourself on that list? And I ask that for a couple reasons. One, it's so easy for us to get distracted by outside stuff. Or maybe you just weren't thinking that that was what we were striving for. But from now on, I want that to be a goal of yours. Is you should always, not should, it's best if you are in your top 5 things that you love about your life. Right? Next one. Did you put God or source or whatever the divine is for you? Okay? Now what I think is interesting, and I know this is going to push against some of the dogma that we have been taught throughout our lives, but I want you to think about something. Loving yourself is like loving God. And loving God is like loving yourself. Because you have the divine in you. You are the divine. You have it in you, through you, around you all the time. So if that helps you love yourself more, that's great, because this is part of why you want to choose yourself as your love of your life. Okay? All right, so we've talked about all the titles and roles and things that we have in our life that we label ourselves with, and we all know those are all temporary. They're going to go away. They're going to disappear in a few years. People won't even know who Lena is. But what does live on is our energy. The energy in how we treat people and ourselves is eternal. Now, we all know that there's some malicious people that are out there doing malicious things, machinations, nefarious things. But there's also a group of people that are unaware and unconscious about how they might actually be a part of the pain and fear category. When you tell a story, is it all gloom and doom? Or is there, this is what's going on, and this is what's happening because of it? And again, I don't think it's malicious, but as you move through your life, pay attention, by accident or not. Am I part of the pain and the fear? or am I part of the kindness and the love? And then, of course, change your direction from there as to what you want to be more of. All right? Okay, because you're not your name, you're not your past, you're not some of the worst things you've done, you're not some of the best things you've done. You're not the noise in your head. You are the quiet consciousness behind it all. That's who you really are. Truthfully, you're a soul trying to remember how awesome you are with the human chaos of life. That's who you really are, this journey and that trip. It's sometimes difficult not to get caught up in the anxieties of the human life. Learn to step back, remove yourself from the situation, because almost everything is temporary and there's no need to fear. So, a while back, Elijah and I bought a big old bag of Granny Smith apples. And we ate them to our heart's delight until we didn't. And they sat on the table. And they sat on the table. And they sat on the table. Until finally I'm like, I better look in that bag. I was shocked. You will probably hear this story more than once because the levels of takeaway that I got from these apples. Okay, so I expected to open the bag and see a soupy science experiment. No. I bravely reached in and picked out this leathery, dried up apple. Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. Two of them that were touching that apple had some rot spots on it that you could see were spreading. Set them aside. Fourth one had no rot spots on it, but it was split open on each side. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then the last one felt good, looked good. I'm like, okay, this might be the only one we can save. So I sliced, diced, composted, or chickened the rest. Okay? Next day, Elijah gets up to make a smoothie. He cuts into that apple. You know what he found? Rot. Starting at the core that was weaving out. It could not be seen from the outside. I was like, oh my God, there's some lessons here. So it was really good because we all know the story about the rot of an apple or a fruit and how we're supposed to choose wisely of people, places, and things in our lives because it does impact and affect. But sometimes when you think it's not even affecting you, it might still be affecting you. And you don't know. Okay? So be very conscious and self-aware of what you're subjecting yourself to. Okay. I'm bravely going to do this because they told me to. But I have a list of some things that I'm going to run through real quick because I want to make a point with it. In 2000, there was West Nile. In 2002, 2003, there was SARS. Bird flu in 2005. Swine flu, I believe that's the same as H1N1, was 2009, 2010. Ebola was 2014, 2016. Zika, am I saying that right? Z-I-K-I, 15, 16. Of course, there's COVID in 19. Mad cow, I couldn't find the date on it. Monkeypox was 22, 23. Whatever happened to monkeypox? Wasn't it just like a real smack in the face and now it's like, where did it go? I don't know.
They didn't know enough monkeys.
So they are viruses and diseases that we just keep constantly being hit with. That isn't even touching on world situations, disasters, conflicts, turbulence, all that kind of stuff. We're not even, you know, all the politics of all the things that are happening and the chaos and the drama. But what I want you to see is that how often do we get yanked into stuff, wadded up into it, worried about it, worked up, fear-filled, and then it's on to the next thing. So what I want to say is protect yourself from the negativity that's everywhere. This is a roller coaster. Even if it's your friends and family, this is still a lot of being yanked around in this fear-mongering kind of thing. Now, when we are emotionally and mentally affected, because that's what I feel like those 2 apples that didn't show the rot, it still affects us emotionally and mentally, but sometimes we actually see it, and sometimes we don't. But no matter what, these outside things are distracting us from being calm, from being centered, from getting to know ourselves as a divine being. So, are you thinking and acting in loving ways? This can be challenging during hard times or tough times because our lovely minds can sometimes tell us stories, right? Especially when we're down. Likes to do that. Do you believe it? Do you latch onto it? Do you immerse yourself in it? Think about that kind of stuff and understand how many times in your life did some trauma or chaos happen that it passed. And then afterwards, when you reflected, well, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Or, I did okay. It could really be something tough or bad, but you were okay and got through it. So no matter what, this is learning, this is growing, new ideas, opportunities. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could keep ourselves in that perspective even when we were feeling lower? Wouldn't it be wonderful, like, oh my God, this tragedy, I mean, I'm serious, I don't know what's going on. There's been all kinds of weird things happening. And each time I just go, I don't care what happens, the end result's gonna be magical. I don't know how, but it's gonna be magical. To stay in that perspective. Because you know what? It usually always does. In some way, shape, or form. Now, make sure that you're giving yourself permission to feel whatever it is that you need to feel. Okay? But make sure that you're cautious not to get caught up into the stories and start believing them and making them your perspective. Make sure that you're stepping back as the observer, not the absorber. Okay? Now let me give you, because, let me one more thing, because that's not who you are. Again, and it's up to us how we channel the energy to give ourselves the freedom of how we move through things. So let me give you a tool. When the messages that you get is loving, calm, kind, grounded, intuitive, that's the divine. That's your intuition. If this building was on fire and God was standing in this room, I can guarantee you God would not be screaming at us to evacuate. God would be like, there's two doors, people, make the most of them. You know? So do you understand that message, how you know it's more divine is because it's peaceful and it's calm. Fear is urgent. You feel like you gotta fix it, do it right now. It's spastic, it's chaotic, it's the panic rather than the calm. Something happens in your life or goes on, ground yourself and then discern what voice is coming through before you act or move forward. Okay? Now, I think it's hard sometimes in life because we feel alone when we go through things, okay? And you may be physically alone sometimes, but you are never alone. Never, ever alone. Not only do you have an entourage of protection with you, but you are always in the hands, the loving hands of whatever your source is in God. It is in you, around you all the time. That energy is always there for you to cling to, hold to, turn to, everything. Now, we, however, I know human's fun, being human's fun. We, however, can fixate on things and move our attention outside to where we don't feel that loving, divine energy. And you got to make sure that you take control and power of the fact that you're the one that allows it to either flow or not flow. Okay, so if you're not feeling it, ooh, what can I do differently? Because I like that feeling of knowing that I'm not alone. Because they call love an emotion. And I do think that, the way we love the people in our lives and the pets in our lives and things like that is an emotion. But the true love is awareness. True, pure love is consciousness of that divine. Love, hear me here, love is a still point within you. And it is a frequency that responds to love. Isn't that so simple? But did you get what I put down there? The love in you is a frequency that responds only to love. Love yourself and other people. Oh, I gotta take a deep breath on that one. So your devotion and your commitment to whatever your source and your God is the thing that makes you unmovable. It's the thing that makes you unshakable. It's the thing that keeps you steady and whole. Because if you're not, you're open to corruption and negativity. Okay? Does that make sense? You connecting the dots there? Because it's our connection that protects us, that keeps us safe, and our commitment to growing that and cultivating that. All right, so Eckhart Tolle says, as soon as you honor the present moment, unhappiness, struggle dissolves. Life begins to flow with joy and peace. And the moment is connection. The moment is when you are in the divine, in that space and energy of the divine. So when you're loyal to yourself, you're loyal to God. When you are honoring yourself, you are honoring your source. When you are saying no, doing self-care, you're not abandoning yourself, you're not betraying yourself, you are also not betraying or abandoning your love and light, the divine. We are divine, we are divinity, we are connected. The more you're devoted and committed to that is where you're going to find your real freedom. The raw awareness of what love really is. That's why you want to choose yourself as the love of your life.